Dear Ramona, I would say one of the biggest struggles we have is communication. Sometimes I feel like it's difficult for us to talk about the simplest things. It gets very tiresome to me because I don't even feel like I can make a suggestion or offer my opinion because he doesn't really listen. Or he starts to listen and then after a while he'll check out or tune out. I'm definitely looking for better communication here. Are you looking for better communication here? Do you feel like that? Like your husband is not really listening to you? He's not letting you express your feelings or your worries fully, or he's not listening close enough to actually follow through or heed the things that you're telling him? Or maybe you feel like your opinion isn't valued enough? Well, what kind of jerk is that? I'll tell you what kind, and I'll tell you how to get through to him. Listen up. We've got a lot to talk about.
You and me, we could be on top of the world.
Hi, I'm Ramona Zabriskie, multi-award-winning author of Wife for Life, The Power to Succeed in Marriage, and the founder of the Wife Savers course and community, the one-of-a-kind marriage success and personal development program for women. Wives in over 70 countries think of me as their marriage mentor, and I would love nothing more than to be your wife saver as well. So let's save a wife. Why is our friend in distress? I'm sure you can relate, right? Her husband isn't listening. It's that simple. And wives equate listening with love. So, what does his rudeness or his apathy or his indifference tell us? Well, we have several possibilities. Maybe he doesn't love her or he doesn't care. He could be just plain self centered. Then again, maybe he never learned to communicate. Or he's hiding something. Right? Wrong? Possibly wrong? Probably wrong? Well, in my experience working with hundreds of women, she's just straight up wrong. But in this case, that's a good thing. It means she doesn't have to go get a new husband. She can keep the old one and just make a few adjustments or modifications to the way she approaches him so that she can optimize her chances that he's actually really tuning in, really engaging and listening. And the first modification or adjustment she's going to make is not too painful. It's pretty easy. It's just looking at or listening to it from his point of view. Maybe she's getting bogged down in the details, or she's trying too hard to impress him. Some women forget to use their pause button to listen to him. Or her emotions are running high and it's hard for him to see or hear anything through that. Maybe she's expecting him to be interested in everything that she's interested in. For some guys, they can't even keep up if she's going too fast. Of course, there's the old standby. Maybe he feels like he's being nagged. But here's the most obvious. He's doing something else at the time, and he can't really focus on what you're saying. His behaviors don't necessarily mean that he doesn't love you or that he doesn't care or that he's not capable of supporting you emotionally. He actually wants to do all of those things, and he can learn. Some men are better at it than others, depending on their upbringing or their personality or their stage of life. Keep this in mind too. He could very well be listening, but he's not using listening signals quite as freely or as frequently as you might. Like, right? He might consider a sort of rude interruption. So don't count that against him or assume that he's not listening. Here are 6 proven suggestions or strategies that you can use to help him really tune in and listen better to you. Number 1, tone down the emotion and start with information. He usually he really enjoys informational type conversations. Now, this is sans the relationship kind of angst or a bunch of emotion. Just start with the kind of topics or subjects that either stimulate him or soothe him. He's really going to appreciate that because he doesn't think of gossip or the daily kind of detail stuff that we women really like to talk about, or decision making, as a way of bonding with you or connecting with you the same way, not quite in the same way that you do. The second thing is stating your objective up front. I mean, it's the first thing that you bring up is, what is it that you really need or want from him? Because he prefers direct, clear, succinct, that kind of brief communication and that everyday kind of conversation. Remember, he's generally task-oriented. That means he really is focused on getting something done. So give him time to put on his thinking cap and then clarify his mission for him. Keep it straight up, simple. Now, here's an interesting suggestion, and it works. Give him an exit. What I mean by that is that he sees relationships just a little differently than you do. It's a little more about status, while you're a little more about connection. And so making him sit still and really focus in and listen to you while you pontificate at him for an extended period of time, it could feel uncomfortable, maybe even a little disrespectful to him. So if you can keep those just let me spill it kind of talks to an agreed upon amount of time, that's really gonna work for him a lot better. Number 4, shoulder to shoulder instead of face to face. Men really prefer this kind of communication and bonding, and it's simple. It's like when you're sitting beside him, shoulder to shoulder, right? Or walking with him, shoulder to shoulder. You'll find it works with your sons as well. It's a little different than what we're used to as women. We really like that eye-to-eye kind of contact, that face-to-face, but it can make all the difference in helping him to relax and feel safe and open up and really listen. Just be together. Silence is golden. Brain scans show that a man may be processing your stream of consciousness, that kind of verbalizing, the same as he does white noise. So if your goal is bonding, you don't have to be talking to connect with him. He can feel close to you, and you can feel close to him just by sharing a space together. And that brings us to strategy number 6, give him space. You really need to give your, knight in shining armor a chance to take off his chainmail and suit back up before you send out the next distress signal. This is really important. Any kind of communication is respecting the needs of the other, and he probably has that need for independence. So give him space where he can go and problem solve or be alone and process, do whatever he needs to do before you call on him to listen up again. Hey, honey, I have a problem I need your help with. Can you listen for just 10 minutes? Honey, I have a problem I need to figure out, but I don't need your help figuring it out. I just need to process out loud. So could you just listen for about 15 minutes? I mean, really, just listen. Hey, honey, I'd really like to know what you think about this. Honey, I'd really like to share what I think about that. Sorry to get spun up, but thanks for listening and letting me figure it out. Wow, that's interesting. I'm going to chew on that. Thank you. Can I share some more detail with you? I've been wearing my glasses through this whole thing. What am I doing? Oh, well. There are a plethora of husband and wife communication challenges and dynamics, so I'm sure you've got your own questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to address them in upcoming videos. And if you want to be the first to know when that subject comes up, then I invite you, please, to subscribe to this channel. You can also click the link in the description below to save your seat at my free upcoming live masterclass, Understanding Your Husband and Sons, where I'll really pull back the curtain on his brain, his body, and his emotional underbelly. It's as empowering as it is eye-popping. That link is right down there in the description. All right, then. I am so happy to be your wife saver as always. Can't wait to see you again soon.